Hey guys, welcome back to another Creative Tab tutorial. Now in this tutorial we're going to be creating another sort of load-in kind of thing that I've come up with. This sort of infinity logo with this ball which kind of zooms around and sort of slows down in the middle. So this is just made up out of a shape layer which is animating around the sort of track. I use the number 8 which I cut in half, which if I show you in here, it's basically the number 8 twice but kind of cut in half and joined together. And then we come into here, we got that, then we've got the shape layer animating around and just this solid in the background. So let's jump on in and start creating it. So I'm going to go new project first of all. New project, there we go. And I'm going to go composition, new composition, 1920 by 1080, 25 frames per second, 5 seconds, that's fine. Let's click OK. First of all, I'm going to create that background solid. And I can't remember what colour it was, but I'm going to go for sort of desaturated kind of orange like that, something like that, and click OK. You can obviously play around with your colours a lot more. Then I'm going to get this text tool, and I'm going to type the number 8, and I'm going to find let's go quite large on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it. And because this one isn't very usable, because if you see the track, I want it to be quite diagonal across. So I did this on another computer, the example. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find a font that works. And I'll explain why it works when I find it. This one's quite nice because it can kind of go around like that. And I'm just going to see if there's another one which has got a kind of nicer look to it. I think this one's kind of nice, but it's too kind of like it's almost like two circles joined onto each other, and I want it to look more as close to an infinity sign as possible. And obviously we're gonna have some input into that as well. So I'm just gonna keep circling through until I find one which is gonna, well, that's quite nice, but it's tilted. That's pretty decent, but there's different thicknesses in the lines coming in, which isn't gonna be too helpful. I'm just trying to minimize our job really. So that one, not really. No, let's carry on going through. Did find a decent one back here, wasn't it? I think it was Gill Sands, possibly. No, it was just after that. I think this one could work. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Gill Sands MT for this. Now, if we were to rotate this by 90 degrees and go like that, you can see one of the circles is bigger than the other one. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Now I'm just going to highlight it again just to make it a little bit larger. If it actually goes larger. Let's type in 1300. There you go. I'm going to go with that. Now we've got the 8 there, but as you can see the circles are different sizes, so we actually need to cut this up, and most 8s will do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rectangle tool with 8 selected. I'm going to click and drag till it goes to this halfway line, okay? Just like that, till it goes to the halfway line. Okay, now I want to turn this to subtract. So this is what we've got. We've got this number 8, which is kind of cut in half. So I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to select it, and before I duplicate it, actually, I just want to highlight it and change the color. So I'm going to go for the inside. I want to go for kind of like a darkish kind of desaturated blue, and I'm also going to give this a stroke just to make it look a little nicer, of a lighter sort of desaturated blue, something like that. Click OK, and we also want to turn the stroke up to about something like 20, I think. There you go. So now when we duplicate this, it's going to do the same. So I'm going to get this, I'm going to go Control D or Command D, and then I'm going to hit S and go to the scale. I'm going to unlink it, and I think it's, yeah, this one by here. I'm going to put a minus in front of this 100, so we'll essentially just flip it like so. And then what I want to do, I want to use my arrow keys, I want to line it up so it's, so basically these little points by here in there. See those little 2 points by there, I want them to line up, and I want it to look, well, perfect. So I think, let's click off, yeah. That's looking perfect enough, and so it'll be able to go like that. Okay, cool. What you can also do is you can download a PNG of an infinity sign and use that if you wanted to. Now I'm going to select both of these. It's actually renamed it to 9, so I'll go 8.2 just so I know it's using that 8. So I'll select them both, Shift Select, and then Command or Control Shift C, and I'll call this Infinity Track or whatever. There you go, Infinity Track. Okay, great. So I've got this. If I go back into Comp 1, there you go, I've got this. So next what I want to do is I want to create a little ball. So let's actually lock these layers, and let's get my circle tool, and I want to go for quite a bright yellow, quite a bright blue, sorry. Hold Shift, click and drag. And there we go. I don't really want it any bigger than that. But what I will do is Control or Command double click the pan behind tool, so so that the anchor point goes to the middle. So now I can start animating this. So I'm going to center it there, right in the middle of them, and I'm going to hit P and click position. I'm going to come forward about 20 frames, so that's holding Shift and hitting page down twice, and I'm going to hit the keyframe again, so that's where it goes back to. Then I'm going to come forward 20 frames again, and I'm going to set another keyframe for this position, okay? So if we were to play this, it's not going to move because it's got a keyframe for the exact same position 3 times in a row. So what we want to do in between these is we want to animate it. So let's come forward. So I've got 20 keyframes to work with. So let's come forward till about 5. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to rough it out. I'm going to get the position actually and kind of make sure that it's up to about, actually, yeah, up here at 5 keyframes. Then come forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's obviously you can see it starts going back to this because that's where it ends up going back to. But we're going to bring it out, so down and out to the side, like so. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see obviously it's going back because it's going back to where this keyframe is. But we're going to bring it down, like so. Okay, so we're setting those keyframes, right? Now we're going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bring it to the side because we're going to go up here this time. So it's gone around like a little track, like a Scalextrics if you used to use them. So kind of up to here, and now up. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of keep on going out, and then down, and maybe out just a touch more. And yeah, I'm just going to move it up a touch. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, repeating this process, and we're going to bring it down so it lines up there. So if we were to play this through, it's basically doing it very, very, very roughly at the moment. It's got this very angular looking animation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I'm going to click this Convert Vertex tool. And if I click on each of these points, you can see it starts giving these handles so we can actually start curving this path. So I'm going to do it here, 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 and here. So now if I get my selection tool, I can click each point and start making sure that this motion path that it travels along bends like so. So I'll do that for each of them. Come down and click this one, come out, come around like so. This one, oh, clicked off. So just go up here, so I'll come around like that. Make sure it doesn't bang against the sides, and we're going to keep on doing this until we get something that looks nice. Maybe bring this in a touch. Come to this one, bring it down. Come to this one, bring it out a touch, bring it around. Okay, so if I kind of scrub through now, I just want to make sure it's not banging into any of the sides, which it doesn't look like it is. And it goes round, it doesn't, but there, no, it goes round like so. Okay, great, so let's play that through. So you can see it's going round, and if you wanted to leave it there, you can, because it's quite a sort of fluid animation, but I want to sort the timing out so it's not so uniform, okay? So what I'm going to do, I know this keyframe here, this one, and the last one are all for the center. So I want it to take a while coming out of this center, and I want it to take a while going into the center. So what I'm going to do, these 3 middle keyframes, I'm going to squash these together like so. Move them in like that. So move this one in about 2, like we did on the other side. Move this one in about 2. Now let's have a look at this. Okay, so you can see it's doing it a little bit, which is great. But what I also want to do is this keyframe, so let's shift click these 3 keyframes where it's back in the middle, and I want to hit F9 because I want to ease these. So now, if we play it, you can see it's got that more fluidness motion to it. Fluidness, yeah, that's a word. Okay, so we're nearly there. What I want to do is turn motion blur on for this layer and the composition, so you can see it's got that nice little motion blur on there now. So if we play it back, you'll really see that kind of speed. So it kind of slows down in the middle. That's quite nice. And what we also want to do, like we have in other tutorials, we want to loop this. So if we wanted it to carry on playing all the way out here, well, it stops. And some people think, oh, copy and paste the keyframes. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to alt-click position, and then I'm going to type in an expression, loop, all lowercase, until you get to this O, out. So loop out, with that being the only capital. Then open and close brackets, or parentheses, whatever you call them. And then I'm going to click off. So what it's going to do, it's going to say, right, okay, so when I get to this last keyframe, I'm actually going to come back and start looping these, okay? So if we play now, you'll see for the whole composition, it's actually going to loop that animation, but it's not going to jump back to the beginning. It's actually carrying on this looping animation. So it'll go on inevitably, okay? So that's our little animation for that one. So it's a nice little loading screen. It's a little bit different, but yeah, you don't have to have all the strokes and everything. But yeah, that does it for this tutorial. So I hope you picked a few things up. Feel free to check out some of our other UI tutorials, some of our After Effects ones, Nuke, Photoshop. Give it a comment, subscribe, that'd be helpful. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with what's coming up. So cheers for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.